Hello, guys, and welcome back to third day of the league tourney for Milpitas High School and Basel combined.
Is that
Today we're
curiosity?
gonna see, I believe, Gun Gaming on the blue side and OK Gamer on the red side. First band gonna come out as Katarina for
You are right to fear my
Gun Gaming.
greatness.
This was a band that we also saw yesterday in OK Gamer's games, so I'm not sure as to the roster of OK Gamer, but maybe they have a cat main on their team. Katarina is a pretty
You
hard
can't
chance to deal
cage
with
me
once she
for
gets fed.
long.
Kiana gonna be responded from red side, and then Silas followed up on blue side.
Life
So
is
a lot of
too
mid lane
short
bans
for
going on
fear.
here, with the cat, Silas, and Kiana. That may be the lane to watch for today's game. A Lowy ban coming out that is, I believe, Ludashao's main. He is, I think, the highest rank on Gun Gaming's team, so want to get that out of the way as Lowy is very oppressive in the side lanes. In those multi-man fights, as she gets fed.
The warrior spirit is never broken.
Xin Zhao, the third ban, targeting the jungler. I talked about this a bit yesterday, but uh, I was looking at Xin Zhao either in pro play or just in competitive. We've seen two kind of builds to start to like be emerging. There's like the tank build where you would go Sunfire into a sort of bruisery build, or you can go Eclipse into Essence Reaver and go for that really big burst damage or that like one shot with Halo Blades. Rumble gonna be the B1 for uh gun gaming here. Rumble, a very strong pick, can be flexed in possibly three lanes. Mostly saw it in the jungle, however, in pro play, but can also be used in those two solo lanes, top and mid. Rumble having that very fast clear with that overheat damage that was buffed earlier this season. Volibear going to be a response on R1 for OK Gamer. Again, this is also flex pick, can be used in jungle and less commonly seen in the top lane and mid lane, but can also be put in those lanes. Volibear with that fast clear, not I don't think as fast as Rumble, however, will be able to contest for that Scuttle Crab around minutes 3 to 4. Ezreal going to be the R2 for OK Gamer. Ezreal is one of my favorite champions to play in the bot lane, and recently with the buffs to Divine Thunder along with Frozen Heart, we're seeing Ezreal emerge out of the shadows as a very strong pick in the bot lane, as once he gets his core items being sort of like Divine Thunder, Mana Moon, he can choose to either go into a tankier build such as Frozen Heart if they have a lot of AD, or he can go into the Sorelgia's Grudge to uh, try to negate some of that armor on the enemy team. So Ezreal, a very prominent pick in that bot lane. Sort of safe as well in the laning phase with E, but we'll have to see how he will do against this bot lane that we just see from blue side, Kaisa Leona. So Kaisa, also a very prominent pick throughout this whole season. Most definitely meshing well with those items, either Gale Force or Kraken Slayer usually. Gale Force, you would probably want to go into a Collector, and Kraken also meshing well with Phantom Dancer, Runins, and LDR. So Leona also proccing Kaisa's passive stacks so that she can either ult or get those plasma stacks to do that big damage. So we're seeing both the bot lanes come out here, Kaisa Leona versus Ezreal Alistar, I assume. We're going to see how these bot lanes will battle it out in these 2v2s. Is going to be the R4 ban coming out from red side. So we're seeing the mid lane highlighted here throughout these bans. I'm curious to see who the mid laner is for blue side, as I do believe the P4 and P5 for blue side are new, as I haven't seen them in the BAHSEL tourney. As for OK Gamer, I haven't casted them before, so I'm also curious to see how they will play and whether their mid lane will be a threat as it assumes to, or as it looks to be. Gragas going to be B4, also a flex pick in the jungle, top lane, and support. Pretty strong in all of them. And Ornn going to be the last ban for red side. we saw a bit of Ornn coming out from, I believe, Permban Lulu either yesterday or the day before yesterday. Uh, pretty
Ignorant thrall.
pretty safe pick in lane, as a lot of outs with Ornn with their W being like a CC blocker kind of thing and having a dash kind of thing with his E. And he does do a bit of damage in lane with those trades and grasp. Diana going to be the last ban from blue side. Um, Probably either targeted to their jungler or their mid lane. Diana is a very teamfight prominent pick, and it's very scary to deal with a fed Diana as their ult just feels like a bomb in those team fights. Mordekaiser are going to be the pick, so we're probably going to be seeing a Volibear jungle then coming from red side, and Mordekaiser going towards the top lane. So a blind Mordekaiser, uh, Mordekaiser not really having too many counters in the top lane, so blind Mordekaiser not being that bad. Still a pretty good pick in the top lane. Talon coming out from blue side, so uh, I don't know. Talon is just honestly like he's a very brain dead character to lane against. He like hits 3 abilities and you're suddenly like less than half HP. So honestly, hate to lane against that character, but he does exist. He has that high mobility, able to roam with that E. He can jump over the walls and stuff like that. Interesting jungle pick here, or maybe we're gonna see it in the top lane. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how they switch around these champions here. Either Rumble goes in a solo lane or Zac can go in a solo lane here. Haven't seen a lot of Zac in pro play recently, uh, or as a prominent pick in the competitive ladder, but we'll have to see how blue side wants to play with this Zac pick. Victor going to be the last pick for red side. Victor, although not dealing the most damage in the early game, he is widely considered a massive lane bully with his mobility and the shield coming out from Q, and E has a pretty long range, and him having basically a free stun with that W. Once he has ult, it is a lot of damage. If the jungler wants to come to mid lane, they can probably 100 to 0 with Victor's entire kit. So although he will take around 2 to 3 items to actually get his damage up there to contest with maybe the Talon, he probably will be able to survive this laning phase relatively easily as long as uh he doesn't get like Zac and like Talon one shot or something like that. So as the timer goes down, we're gonna see Rumble being handed off to Ludishao. So Ludishao is gonna be commanding this Rumble. So probably going into the top lane with a Zac in the jungle. So Rumble in the solo lane we haven't seen a lot in pro play, but as of just going from experience with Rumble, he definitely isn't easy lane to go against. That overheat damage with those autos is really strong, and the Q damage can take take your HP down very like you could tank your HP down very hard. So we'll have to see how this Mordekaiser is going to deal with the Rumble. Maybe perhaps going for a sort of Merc Treads by early, or we'll have to see. As for this jungle matchup, it's going to be Volibear versus Zac. So Zac has not too slow of a clear, but definitely not among the fastest of the junglers. As in this meta, or in the past meta, we have seen more of the power farming jungler. So we'll have to see if he can keep up with Volibear and use that early game pressure from his long range ganks to get his his laners kills or help in those skirmishes, either around those scuttle crabs or in those early drag fights. As the timer goes down, I'm going to stop talking for a bit and get some water, but I'll be right back once we get into game. this game, we can start to look at the rune choices of these players here. So one thing that stood out to me as opposed to competitive, like in the ranks ladder, we see Rumble taking the choosing to take Conquer over maybe Dark Harvest or something. I actually agree with this pick in 5v5 as um Rumble may not be able to get as many Dark Harvest stacks into the late game as he would be able to in perhaps competitive play, as he won't be like things are more calculated and he won't be able to just farm those Dark Harvest stacks off of people being low. Uh, if we could get the tab sorted on stream, we can also see. So Zach going to take Aftershock in the jungle, and Talon taking Electrocute, probably just for that burst. So we're gonna put Volibear and Rumble in the top lane, and then Zach and no, sorry, Mordekaiser and Rumble in the top lane, and then okay, so we're gonna see a little bit of a skirmish here come out, getting Rumble's flash and tossing, I believe that was Alistar's Ignite. Red side is gonna back off though, not looking to take Rumble's blue, Zach's blue away at the moment. So okay, so for the tab, Rumble and Mordekaiser go together, and then Zach and Volibear in the second line. Yeah, and then Talon and Victor, and then Ezreal Kaisa, and then Leona Alistar. Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna see both junglers start in their bot side getting leashes from their bot lanes. We might see a little bit of a skirmish in the top side as they both go for that Scuttle Crab maybe. Zach gonna go straight to his Krugs, going for that six camp clear probably. And Volibear gonna go for that Grump. So if we take a look at the bot lane, we're gonna see a little bit of a scuffle to see who can get that level 2 first, as both Alistar and Leona have that strong level 2. Alistar can combo that WQ, and Leona can maybe jump on this Ezreal with that E and get that quick stun with Q onto him. Kaisa can also opt to take W on level 2 and get those plasma stacks really fast. Yep, so now we see it. Leona gonna get that level 2 first and jump onto that Ezreal. However, Ezreal takes that E and is able to E out and get that damage back onto Leona. So Leona probably taking the worst side out of that trade. If we look at those items, Ezreal actually opted for the Tear instead of the Doran's Blade, so he does get that extra health potion. Not going to use it just yet, but still has it for later. Leona did pop both of her potions as she was very low, so we'll have to see how that affects her in the rest of her laning phase. So as we move over to the mid lane, we can see Talon getting that priority in the mid lane, able to push that wave, probably going to be first to respond to that Scuttle fight, as both Zach is on his 4th camp, and Volibear is finished with his red buff and moving down to get that Scuttle Crab. Maybe looking for a gank in the mid lane, as Talon does have it warded, but I don't think he's paying attention. He may be able to jump this wall and get away. Let's see if Volibear is fast enough to catch up. He doesn't land that E, so the slow will not happen, and Talon's able to jump out over those walls. As I said earlier, that mobility is quite broken on that champ, either able to escape ganks or just roam around to the lanes. Volibear are going to opt to get that bot side scuttle now, and Zach's going to have a free top side scuttle. An interesting jungle change that we saw earlier in this season was the 5 smites into someone is saying on stream to use the automatic camera instead of the directed camera. I'm not sure if you are doing that already or not, but okay. So as we, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. So we're gonna be looking towards the top lane now, as Mordekaiser might be able to push in this wave and get our recall. Little Child going in for a little chunk there, trying to stop Mordekaiser from getting this back off. Maybe he is zoning this Mordekaiser off with a bit of XP. He's fighting now, and a bit of minions. We'll have to see if he's fast enough to get this kill. Maybe flash auto. Oh, he does. He actually doesn't have flashes. He lost it in that early game trade. He, wow. Okay, so we saw maybe a little bit of like underestimation of how much the damage those minions did. So Rumble tried to get away using that scrap shield and that bonus movement speed, but ultimately he wasn't fast enough, nor did he have the health to tank those minions. We saw him maybe take a bit too long to either get that damage onto Mordekaiser, or he stayed too long in that trade. He did walk into a huge wave of minions and tank a lot of that damage. So Mordekaiser picking up that first blood, going to get that gold lead, and is able to back after that. We're seeing a TP, I think, from Victor and Mordekaiser into the bot lane. Blue side was able to get a kill, get 2 kills in that 2v2, but red side gonna pop back up with those 2 TPs. Zac flashes over the wall. Oliver is going to be chasing. Zac does have that passive, remember. Zac is able to E over that wall, but ultimately a 2 for 2 or a 3 for 2 in favor of red side, I believe. The bot lane of blue side was able to pick up that 2v2 kill, I think, with the help of Rumble and his TP in the bot side, and Kaisa and Leona did miss a bit of XP from the minions under tower, but 3 kills going over to the red side and 2 kills for the blue side, and red side now taking that first dragon and extending their gold lead to around 800 gold. Mordekaiser wasn't in the top lane for a long time, however. He might have missed a bit of XP. Rumble also did, as his wave wasn't in the best spot before taking that TP, but he is able to push in that wave, and now it should be slow pushing over to him, as he can choose what to do with that wave now. They're going to go for that recall as he pushed in that mid wave, and Talon will be missing a bit of CS after going for that roam in that bot lane. As we look over to this bot lane, just Alistar getting some vision in that tri-bush of the blue side, and Ezreal getting a bit of poke onto Leona. If we look at the items real quick, we can see Ezreal has picked up that Sheen, and since he started tier, he shouldn't be running into too many mana problems. And with that Sheen, that his DPS does increase quite a lot, as every time he uses that Q or E or W, he does get that Sheen proc. Also having that longsword, and opted to take cookies in his runes, so he does have that lane sustain. Hasn't eaten any yet, so he should have a bit of effective HP as Zac tries to make a gank onto the spot lane of red side. Misses the E, however, and Alistar is able to get that knock up. Zac may be in a bad position here. He does have that passive. Victor is here from the mid lane, and we're seeing a bit of missing pings from the blue side, either to the Talon for not pinging missing or not roaming with the Victor. Zac is back from that passive, however, just gets killed by that Ezreal with that Q and auto. So Kaisa getting cleaned up by Ezreal as well, and Lina ultimately falling to that Victor as she tried to get away. So a little bit of miscommunication coming in from that Talon in the mid lane, either not roaming with the Victor or alerting his team that Victor was missing. And maybe a bit of a mistake from Zac to go for that gank, as Alistar could ultimately just knock him back into tower if he didn't get the right angle. So blue side losing quite a lot of CS and XP there, as Ezreal and Alistar are going to pull ahead with a level lead. I wasn't watching what happened there, but I believe Victor just got a kill with the help of Volibear onto that Talon. Yeah, so Talon falling a lot farther behind from this Victor. Mordekaiser looking to maybe get a kill onto this Rumble under tower, but Rumble's gonna respect it and back off and just CS. Zac misses the E, however is able to land that Q and ult onto Mordekaiser. Quick damage, Mordekaiser unable to utilize that R and W to get himself out of that situation. Volibear might be roaming up here, maybe to try and get a kill onto this Rumble. Rumble isn't watching, and he gets solo killed by that Volibear. Mordekaiser actually getting assists as well, so a little bit of gold to both of them right there. Rumble made a mistake there of recalling in the middle of the lane, did not watch where he was recalling Volibear, ultimately picking up a kill there. As we look over to mid lane, maybe Talon, yeah, Talon actually bursting this Victor down. Maybe Victor wasn't expecting that damage, didn't have ult or that flash to get away from Talon. Talon just investing his ignite and his didn't even have to ult actually to get that kill, and picks up that shutdown from Victor, maybe trying to get that gold lead down as much as he can, as Victor did roam and get quite a bit of kills. If we look over to the bot lane now, as for itemization, Ezreal was able to pick up those Boots of Lucidity, which he normally buys, gives him quite a lot of cooldown reduction and summoner spell reduction, and that Phage, the Phage giving a bit of healing as he goes into those trades. Kaisa just with that Nin Quiver and chose to buy a Cloak of Agility for 20% crit. I'm not sure how that'll affect her. It is just RNG, but we'll have to see. As for itemization in the mid lane, Victor picked up that Ludens earlier with that gold that he got, and Talon, now with that shutdown he got, is able to pick up Prowler's Claw. A very common item we see from assassins, as it gives quite a lot of lethality, along with that mythic passive bonus. Zac going to go for a gank here in the top lane onto this Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser still having that ult from before, and Zac is able to escape from the Mordekaiser realm. However, Rumble is there to hit Mordekaiser as he exits the realm. And another solo kill coming out from Talon in that mid lane onto that Victor. Victor maybe playing a bit too aggressive, not realizing that his damage output and his squishiness in the early game is not up to Talon's damage. So Rumble maybe getting a bit too confident here, and his Scrap Shield not quite big enough to tank all that damage from Mordekaiser, and Mordekaiser ultimately getting a kill there. Yeah, Rumble just walking up a bit too far there, didn't have ult, and had to flash there, but ultimately died. Kaisa and Leona going to be returning from their base they just took. Kaisa picking up that pickaxe, and Ezreal is pushing this wave. Kaisa should be here to receive a little bit of it, but Ezreal is getting that third plate now. Those plates do give quite a lot of gold. So Zac unable to get that steal onto Dragon, and Volibear ultimately getting that second drag of the game, and Zac having to flash out. As we look over to the mid lane, we're going to see another trade or skirmish coming out from Talon on Victor. Unable to pick up that kill, but gets quite a bit of damage on Victor. Leona looking to just get vision in that river, as Zac is just maybe cycling through his camps once more. Kaisa is pretty chunked from either trading with Ezreal, I'm not sure. Ezreal ulting to just get that wave under as fast as he can, probably look for a recall. Maybe has enough gold for Divine Sunder, that first core item that he builds. Very strong power spike, as it gives that a lot of healing and teamfight power. So as we look into the mid lane, Leona having to ult the Alistar, and Alistar ulting to get out of that Leona ult. I'm not sure how exactly that ult trade-off goes. I'm not sure if either was needed, to be honest. Maybe Leona just to survive, but don't think the Alistar ult was needed. Ultimately, nothing coming out of it. Volibear just going to be able to pick up that Scuttle Crab. As we look over to Talon in the top side of the map, now we do see 3 people from the red side on that top side of the map, maybe looking to dive this Talon. Volibear does have ult to disable that tower. Wow, so we're seeing a lot of kills coming from the red side here. Ezreal able to pick up that solo kill onto Kaisa, but ultimately dying to Zac, giving that shutdown over to Zac. Maybe for the best, giving that shutdown to Zac and not to a person like Kaisa or Talon, or Rumble able to utilize that gold. So if we look at the scorecard here, we're going to see 5k gold lead for the red side here, picking up a lot of kills, and the XP and CS leads on blue side over here. We're seeing 30 CS lead in the bot lane, 10 CS lead in the top lane, and 20-ish CS lead in the jungle. Mid is looking pretty even. Victor not hitting his power spikes yet, just having that one item with Magic Pen Boots. We'll probably see him build into a Zonius here, and then maybe a Void Staff or something like that after. Mordekaiser still sitting on that Blasting Wand and Leeching Leer, giving a bit of Omnivamp. He should have enough gold for his core item at the moment, but he does have that Merc Treads, able to get that Rumble's damage down a little bit. Blue side gonna 4-man this Rift Herald. Not sure if that's the best choice, as plates are gone. It's not gonna have as much worth, but an objective is an objective. We'll have to see if Zach can get this. Yes, he does, and he ultimately picks it up. Ezreal unable to snipe that kill. I don't think he realized, though, that Talon was sneaking up behind him, but Alistar is there to save him. Ezreal just missing that Q, that double Q onto Talon. That probably would have killed him, but Talon is able to get away with those jumps. Red side is rotating here to maybe clean up a kill onto him. And yeah, Victor there to eat him, pick up that kill. And Talon does go down eventually. And going back to items, Rumble is, I believe, down a lot of gold compared to this Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser has picked up 3 kills, Talon has 5 deaths, missing a lot of CS and XP. 2 levels down from this Mordekaiser. We'll have to see how he chooses to recover from that or get back into the game. Kaisa getting caught out here by that Alistar, was W'd back into the red side team, but able to ult and get out safely back to their tower. Slow HP choosing to stick around for that CS, but ultimately chooses to back out. Ezreal ult just missing, and red side looking to clear out this blue side's jungle and take whatever they can, as Ezreal picking up the kill to Talon. I guess Talon just underestimated that Ezreal's damage as Volibear jumps onto that Leona with the ultimate and picking up that kill. So we're seeing this gold gap and the lead that red side had in this early game starting to extend as the gold gap increases to 8.5k ish, and the mid lane of blue side is getting sieged and 3 towers are gone. Red side leaving up that inhib as maybe too early of an inhib, seeing as they can't really end yet and they wouldn't want to be giving too much free gold and XP. Zach face checking the bush. He does have that passive, but he E's out as Volibear did not have that stun to stop that E. So Zach now knowing that it's not safe to enter his jungle at all at the moment. Rumble win trading. Shendy, just run it down now, please. Yeah, Rumble not having the best game at the moment, but we'll have to see how he does. He does do pretty well in those team fights if he has a well-placed ultimate. We'll have to see. Red side now getting their 3rd dragon, probably going to be free unless Zach is able to get a heroic steal, but no, that E just not timed well enough. And oh, wait. Did Kaisa W somehow steal that? I'm not sure what happened, but blue side got that Cloud Drake. That's I think pretty good for them. Just delaying that soul for red side, I guess. And Kaisa able to pick up their 1st dragon for the blue side. Good for them. Alistar roaming up to the top lane. Ezreal hitting. That's just unfortunate. Rumble just got clapped under tower. Nothing much for him to do. I don't think he should have been there in the first place though. Zach summons this Rift Herald, looking to siege the red mid tower. We'll see if it can get another hit. Leona ult being used to maybe get a stun on the Victor, but ultimately the Rift Herald is killed. Alistar does have a flank onto blue side. We'll have to see if he can get the double knock. He does get the double knockup, and Victor is able to get the double E into double ult, and yep, he picks up 2 kills there. Victor now having that Zhonya's and that Luden's, he's starting to get very strong with those item pickups, and he's doing quite a bit of damage now. Ezreal also with the Divine Cinder and Mana Moon. We do see a Mana Crystal and Cloth Armor coming out from him as well, so probably looking to get a Frozen Heart as his next item, going into that tank Ezreal that I was talking about earlier. Red side now going to take that inhib, maybe just for a bit more mid lane pressure. Again, it is pretty early in the game, so we'll have to see if they can optimize that inhib pickup and not just give that free XP to blue side. Talon looking to maybe stop the recalls of Ezreal and Volibear here. Leona missing the Zenith Blade onto Volibear and Ezreal. Volibear missing that ult over. Ezreal getting stunned, cleanses the Leona ultimate, and We're seeing a TP from Mordekaiser come in. We're seeing a full brawl team fight. Zach going to be an early pickup in this team fight, and I believe blue side just looking to retreat now. Talon ult to get away from that Mordekaiser E, and looking like blue side lost that after all, even with that numbers advantage earlier. Missing that Zenith's Blade really costed them, as they weren't able to get onto that Volley Baron Ezreal as quickly as they maybe would have wanted. And 5 seconds as this Baron starts to spawn, red side probably going to look to pick this up and maybe try and end with it actually, as they do have that mid inhib down. The side lanes tier 1 towers are gone, so should be a pretty easy push for them if they can win that team fight. If we look at the gold lead, it is around 10k now, probably going to be a bit more as they pick up this Baron. Yep, so we're seeing around an 11k gold lead, and the item advantage is really starting to show as blue side is just not doing enough damage to red side at the moment. It looks like they're tickling them, and red side is just one-shotting them with that Victor Ezreal. They do have a lot of range. So we'll have to see Talon picking up that Serpent's Fang to reduce shields. There are 3 people on the red side with shields, so pretty good bias. It also gives those stats with lethality. They're going to be picked up here as she was unable to get away. Mordekaiser ulting this Talon maybe. Talon jumping over the wall. We'll have to see if he can get away. Mordekaiser missing the E. I think there's a bit of BM going on. Talon may be able to get out because of that BM. Rumble ult missing, not hitting straight onto that Mordekaiser to see if Mordekaiser can do anything with this scenario. And Rumble is on his, and Talon's able to pick up that kill onto Mordekaiser. I'm not sure when it happened, but Kai'Sa and Leona. Kai'Sa also did fall after that Leona, so she's also down. Ezreal going to be pushing for this end, and yep, Leona and Zach will now fall. Talon didn't recall in time, and it looks like our first game of the 3rd day of the league tourney will go over to OK Gamer in a pretty dominant win we see here. Yep. That will be game going to OK Gamer. I believe they are undefeated as of now. But we'll have to see how that goes in, as their second game of today is also being streamed. This one against Permban Lulu, I believe also an undefeated team. So we'll have to see how these two teams fare against each other.